All right, greetings and salutations, people of the internets. Welcome to this video. I wanted to make a video for myself, and if you guys are interested in watching, you're more than welcome to watch. This is going to be my plant collection as of April 2020. I'm self-isolating, and I'm definitely grateful that I have these plants here to brighten up my days, because I'm self-isolating all by myself. There's nobody else here except me and the plantaroos. Otherwise, you know, it's kind of tough self-isolating. You go out, buy groceries, and you can't interact with anybody, and then you see your family on Skype, but you can't really interact with them. Anyway, that's a story for another time. I'm sure everyone is dealing with their own COVID-19 thing, and I hope that all of you are staying healthy. I hope that all of you are well and all your loved ones are doing fine. Self-isolate, do what you can. Let's beat this thing. Okay, that's out of the way. Look at these plants. Look at that pothos. That is huge. Those leaves are the size of my head. I'm filming with a wide angle lens now, so it looks like it's far away, but it's right there. Okay, anyway, yeah, I wanted to go through and sort of tell my plant story, how I got into plants, and what I have right now. I kind of just want to look at what I have, because this is a passion of mine. I've been collecting plants for like a year and a bit now, and I'm really loving it, and who knows next year what the future holds. And I want a little time capsule for myself, and I can go back and just sort of see where I was in April 2020 and how things evolved from here, because I'm definitely enjoying making these videos on YouTube, and I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm a photographer by trade. I have a YouTube channel specifically for my photography business and photography stuff. It's gonna be linked down below if you want to check me out on there. I shoot glamour work, I shoot wedding work, I shoot commercial work, stock work, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, that's stuff for another page, but let's talk about plants. All right, so today's a perfect overcast day. I tried to make this video on a sunny day, and there's just way too much light coming through the window. Everything was backlit. And yeah, okay, so let me start. My plant story starts with these shelves. I had a bunch of photography equipment here, IKEA shelves with bins and things like that. It was very unsightly. And this was just stacks of stuff. And I wanted to make the studio look a little more presentable. And I really fell in love with pipe shelves. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna build my own pipe shelf. So I did. And check this out. This is gorgeous Douglas fir wood. It's beautiful. A factory burnt down. And my brother found this listing on Kijiji. They were just throwing away all the wood. They said, you know, come get whatever you want. So my brother ran to the U-Haul, and we loaded the thing up with these like 25-foot planks of Douglas fir. And they have this gorgeous texture. And yeah, just love it. The other, look at that. This one here is actually, you can see it's blackened from the fire. I had to put a coat of lacquer on it so the actual, I guess, charcoal or burnt bits wasn't rubbing off on all my equipment. But that's burnt from the actual fire. And it's just like these textures. Anyway, I love this shelf. This is a beauty. I built it, and I was going to cover it in photography equipment and in books and things like that. And I said, you know what? It's kind of bare. Let's put a plant on there. Let's put one plant on there. And then, boom. Oh man, see, the window's still too bright. But there's plants everywhere, right? And it's just like, it all just exploded. It started from like 1 to 5 to 10 to 20, and it just, you know how it is. Like, if you guys like plants too, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It starts with one, just one. But anyway, yeah, this is just a little tour. That's how I got into plants, the pipe shelf. And yeah, I just fell in love with them. And here's the computer. How you doing? This is a creeping fig, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's a cutting of that one. That's the mother plant. And I love the way, the shape here that this one's creating, this flow. It's really cool. I like it. And this one, I actually bought this in Walmart. It was pretty much dead. I don't think they watered it for 2 weeks, and I don't know, for whatever reason it just called my name, and I picked it up for 12 bucks. And I nursed it back to health. Now it's just exploding and growing. And I really enjoy this creeping fig. They're a little bit messy. There's always bits of dry leaves and things falling off of it. But I love it. It's a beautiful plant. I want to eventually just have it up in the shelf area, I think. I don't know. We'll see. This is a SANSEVIERIA snake plant. Mother-in-law's tongue. I don't know all the names. I'm going to try and put them down below. so I can research them after. I don't know all the scientific names, but I'll try, and I'm probably going to make some mistakes, so you're just going to have to live with it. This one, arrowhead plant. This one has grown quite a lot. I bought it a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, and I just love the color, these green leaves. And I bought this simply because I like the color, but it turns out it's a vine too. I didn't know that at the time. And it's growing, it's taking off, and I have to get it a pole or something to climb because those leaves are gorgeous. I just want to see it grow. And then this is a nerve plant. I don't know if you can hear that. It needs to be watered right now. It's getting droopy, but the leaves actually feel like origami paper. They're quite interesting. I like this plant a lot. I think it's beautiful. I love the texture of those leaves. So that's what I keep here on my desk, and then I got some cuttings of this creeping fig as well. And then up here I have a pothos. We have a pothos up there, and what I want to do is have it just cascading down the shelf. I have one on that side. I'll show you after. Actually, you can see it right there. So what I want to do is recreate that here and just have this trailing pothos. Up there, marble queen, marble queen. Those were actually both the same plant at one time. Let me make some space. When I bought it, it was one plant, and it was so big I had to split it up into two, and now both plants are becoming even more massive. And it grows like crazy. These pothos are nuts. I don't know, they're gonna like take over my whole place soon. And here we have a philodendron BRANDTIANUM, something like that. It'll be listed below. And this is a beautiful philodendron. Actually, let me pull it off of here. I bought this on eBay, and when I bought it, it was just this stick. Actually, it was 5 sticks. 4 of them died, and it was this one that started a sprout at the top. And me being the clumsy person I am, I knocked off the top, and I was like, oh my God. So I put it in water, and it started growing. And here it is. This is the piece that broke off the top, and then another piece started growing off the top, and then I broke that off too, and it's growing over there somewhere. And then this shoot came out the side, and it's doing really, really well. I can't wait to grow this into like a big bushy philodendron. But the cool thing about this plant is it's dark green, and that silvery color on the leaf is metallic. It actually looks like aluminum. And it's really cool to have a dark green plant with these aluminum highlights. The camera doesn't really do it justice. In real life, it's gorgeous. That's one of my favorite plants right there. I'm so glad it's actually growing. I thought I killed it twice. And then we have another plant here. This is pothos. And this one's interesting because it's losing its variegation. This is a golden pothos. You can see there the original leaf has the green and the gold. And then all the new leaves are just solid green. So it's actually lost its mutation or variegation, whatever you want to call it. It's gone back to being a normal pothos. I'll put that back there, and there's nothing wrong with that. I still think it's beautiful. It's going to trail down the shelf. Here we have a marble queen. It's doing well. Here we have a pothos enjoy. I met with somebody up on the subway and traded a plant for this plant. Although it was just a little cutting at the time. It's grown quite a bit since. Here we have a shamrock. It's dormant right now. Hopefully it comes back soon. But it's gone to sleep. It's beautiful when it grows. And this is also one of my favorite plants right here. This is a Hoya carnosa tricolor. I've also heard it referred to as like a crimson princess, a crimson prince. It's interesting. This new leaf here is red. This new leaf here has no variegation on it. Then we have like another leaf popping out. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's just all red. And yeah, it's a beautiful plant. I really love the even the texture of the leaves. They're really thick and heavy leaves. And I almost lost this plant and the other one. I have 2 of them. They just prefer humidity, and I learned in the wintertime it was just too dry for them. So I have to work on the humidity stuff. Okay, let's take a look at the front window. This is a planter that I built. That's all soil in there. I put some of this wood on top so I can put plants on top of it. And that's all filled with soil. And my original plan was to have herbs growing in there. I wanted the planter box in the front window. And I had a bunch of herbs. And then I got a bunch of pests. And my advice to you is don't grow edibles inside in large containers. If you have like a couple under a grow light in your kitchen, that's fine. But this just turned into a mess. I had gnat flies everywhere. So I gave up on that project. It's too bad because I like, you know, fresh herbs. Now I just put this leftover wood on top and I just use it as a shelf for plants. But yeah, here's the, if you watched the previous video, this is the neon pothos we just planted. It's doing well. It's doing well. We got some marble queen cuttings here. Oh, we got some roots coming out. That's good. Got a neon pothos. I was looking for this one for a while. I like the bright green. It's very fresh and lively. And this is my string of pearls. I had way more pearls and half of them died. I left the window open and I left this beside the window one winter night and like literally half the plant died. But it's slowly coming back. Hopefully, we'll see. This is interesting. This is a Bella palm. And I actually found this plant inside the marble queen when I bought it. I split it up into two plants. And when I was splitting it up, I was looking inside. I was like, what is this weed growing in here? And it turns out it was a little palm. So I spent like an hour trying to separate its roots from the pothos's roots. And this little guy here, the smaller one, was actually in a shot glass of water for 4 months before it dropped a root. And then I put it here with the other one. This root I was actually able to save. This one, when I tried to pull it out, it just snapped at the base. All the roots were cut off. So 4 months in a shot glass with water and it started to push out new roots. And yeah, so got two little Bella palms for free. There's the neon pothos. It's just waiting for it to develop a root too, so I can plant it with the other ones. We have a polka dot plant. We have the other Hoya carnosa tricolor, or whatever it's called. We got two cactuses back there. And this plant, if anyone knows what it is, let me know. I'm thinking it's a peperomia. I bought it at a Chinese market last spring. I asked the guy, you know what it is? And he smiled at me, said no. This funny old Chinese guy with whiskers and a big smile. And he loves plants too, but he had no clue what it was. He just picked it up from some nursery and there was no tag on it. So if you know what it is, let me know in the comments. I would love to know what that plant is. Here we have a green pothos, green jade pothos. Some people have been calling it a green queen pothos now. I think green jade is the original name. And there's the mother plant. It is growing like crazy. I was looking for so long to try and find a solid green pothos. It took me a month to find this one. And it just, and you can see here, a little learning experience. I got a holy leaf. And that happened because I wasn't giving it enough water. I water them once a week. And I had like 3 or 4 of these long trails coming down and it was fine. But now that I have like, what, there's 8 or 9 trails, it just sucks up water. I have to water it twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And I didn't water enough. And when the leaf was being developed, it unfurled with a hole. So now you know, if you have a pothos, make sure that you don't dry them out too much. So that's cool. Here we have Transcendentia. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. It's a Transcendentia tricolor. So it's got the white and green variegation with the purple hints underneath. Beautiful plant. And these are 3 cuttings and they're growing nicely. They actually came from this plant here. I bought this plant on Facebook Marketplace. And it was just one cutting. That didn't exist. It was just this long vine and it just kept going and going. And then eventually it got so heavy it snapped and broke off. I found it on the floor one morning, the end of the vine, and I was like, oh no, I killed my plant. But they rooted quickly and they're growing there. And then this plant just put out another growth, so it's still going. So I got 2 plants or 4 plants, depending on how you want to count those ones. So that's doing well. This is another neon pothos. There's another one of those philodendron brandanti things, silvery leaves, and that's another one of them that I knocked off the original stick, but it's growing. Golden pothos, cuttings that are growing. This is a Bodhi tree. I traded this for another plant with somebody, and it's a gorgeous tree. Apparently this is the tree that Buddha was meditating under when he found enlightenment. That's the story behind it. I believe it's a sacred tree in some places, and it's gorgeous. I love these leaves. They look they're kind of funny, right? I love them. And what I want to do with this is turn it into a bonsai, because it'll grow to 120 feet. And obviously, yep, it's not going to fit in here. So I'm going to look into different options and see what I can do with that. And here we have, I bought seeds for bee balm, and they're starting to come through now. And bee balm is a native to North America, and it's a plant that produces pollen all summer long. It's great for pollinators, bumblebees, butterflies, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm growing them. I'm going to plant them. And if you're into plants too, you have a garden, I would recommend buying some bee balm. Look it up online and get some seeds and plant them. It'll really help all those insects and things that need that kind of thing. All right, we are done with this. Now we're gonna go here. We did this pothos. This is a Livingstone daisy. It's a beautiful plant. The leaves feel very spongy. It's very interesting. This side is dying because it's right up against the wall. It doesn't get light, but that's okay. I just want this part to grow and trail, and we'll create a nice hanging plant. And it has these beautiful little red flowers. It'll flower probably in the summertime when it gets a little hotter. But it's a really nice plant. I like it. There we go. And then this is a spider plant. I think it needs more light. The tips are kind of browning. Either that or I'm just giving it too much water. Have to figure that out. And up there we have this giant, it's the Philodendron cardamordum thing. It's the heart-shaped leaf. It's the green heart-shaped leaf philodendron vine, and it's gorgeous. It's taking over my shelf. There's like 3 or 4 plants there in a planter, and they're growing around the other side. They're growing over. They're going there, connecting with the pothos and just hanging down the shelf, and it looks beautiful. They've reached the floor already. It's nuts. So yeah, that plant's a lot of fun. It grows like crazy. And up there at the top is Hoya carnosa. I think it's just a regular Hoya carnosa. It's got the dark green leaves with the yellow speckling. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these Hoyas up there too. It's always hotter up there. And this one it started off as a little cutting, and it's exploded in a year from a cutting to that. And it's pretty warm up there. So I think, yeah, these guys are going to go up there. I'm going to have to move my my case. But see, when I started this, I was like, you know what? I just want a couple plants for my shelf. And just accent pieces. But now I'm strategizing on what I can remove from my shelf so I can put more plants on it. This has happened to you guys too, right? Admit it. You started with just one. All right, and yeah, that's just golden pothos. It's trailing down too. And here's a second vine of the philodendron. So this is a mix of philodendron and pothos. They're such similar plants. You can just tell them apart by the leaf. That's a philodendron, looks more like a heart, and the pothos is more like an arrowhead kind of shape. The divot in the back isn't as deep, a little more pointy in the front. Yeah, so that's cool. I like that. Then here I have my regular ring light for video work, but it is full spectrum light, and it works perfectly as a grow light. So there we go. We get some video work lights and then some grow lights. And this is the philodendron we planted in the previous video with that long stem. This is kind of like my infirmary here. There's nothing wrong with this plant, but these all need a little extra care. This one's gonna, as soon as the roots get settled in here, this is just gonna go, it's gonna be huge. This is my wandering Jew plant. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It grows and then dies, and then grows and then dies, and then grows and then dies. The leaves get all crinkly. Some look nice. I'm having trouble with this one. I'm just gonna have to figure it out. That's a challenge, but it's still alive, which is good. These are aluminum plants, And just like that BRANDTIANUM plant, that philodendron with the silver leaves, this one also has a metallic leaf as well. So that's cool. I had these, this was a rookie mistake. I'd planted these in the concrete planters, which don't have drainage holes. I planted them directly in the concrete planter, and I put some rocks on the bottom, and you know, the water would pool in there, but it wouldn't evaporate, so it just created like a soggy swamp environment, and the roots weren't happy, and the leaves started falling off. And these each had 2 leaves on them 2 weeks ago. This one is still pretty much just 2 leaves, but this one sprouted a bunch of new leaves. It's coming back to life. Happy to see that. Roots are happy, plants are happy. Here's the golden pothos cuttings we took the other day. No, that wasn't. We took marble queen cuttings, I think. This is from that plant, which I have to go back to. I made the same mistake with this plant. I put it directly in the planter without drainage holes. And this is, where is it? We are a variegated peperonia genie. And I don't know if that's the correct name for it. I mean, this used to have red marks on it, but this literally died down to like 4 leaves, and now it's starting to come back to life. So knock on wood, that's a great sign. Nerve plant cuttings, they're starting to grow. And here we have a Transcendentia. This is just a 2-color, the white and green. And I had bought this off somebody, and they had given me 4 cuttings, but the roots were just like millimeters long, and they had stuck them in soil and sold them to me. And I guess they just weren't ready for it. They weren't developed enough, and 3 of them died. This is the only survivor, and I'm happy to see that there are more like sprouts coming out, little growths. I think there's like 5 of them here now. This is great, because for the longest time, for the last 8 months, it was literally just 1, 2 leaves, and that's it. A stub in the soil and 2 leaves. And recently it just shot this bit out, and it's growing, and now all these other little growths are happening, so I'm super excited about that. It's going to survive. It's going to grow. Here I just have, this is a pothos. I propagated this one, and it's just hanging basket pothos, green. And this is really cool. This is a Salangula, peacock Salangula. It's a moss, I believe. And if you look at it from one side, it's green, and from the other side, it's blue. It has these cool, like, bluish tints and tones to the plant. It's really cool. I've seen one really big, and it's just like this aqua blue-green, and it just hangs. It's a gorgeous plant, so I'm just waiting for this to grow nice and big again. Then we have 2 golden pothos here. This is a regular pothos. I think they're both regular pothos. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, this is just a regular golden pothos. Beautiful plant. It's growing like crazy. It's just constantly shooting out these vines. It's insane. It just won't stop. And yeah, it's beautiful. I really love this plant a lot. And then at that Chinese market, I saw this. And it's also golden pothos, but these leaves are massive. They're like the size of my hand. And I talked to the smiley Asian guy with the whiskers, and he said it's a different species of pothos, but I haven't been able to find anything about that. Like, look at this, the stem. It looks like a golden pothos, just bigger. Here's the actual stem. It's like finger thickness. Massive. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. I really can't wait to grow this one. Let me pop this on the desk here. There we go. So you can see how big it is. Massive, massive leaves. I love it. And what I'm thinking of doing is eventually like building a shelf out of the same wood and materials there, right across the top, and just having the pothos leaves hang below and just having a green wall. Because I do a lot of like audio recording for my YouTube channel, and you get an echo off the bare wall. And I was gonna buy sound panels to put on the wall, and then I thought, you know what? Why don't I just grow plants? If the sound bounces into the plants and gets caught in the leaves, it's gonna be absorbed. It's not gonna bounce back. So I'm gonna try and make a pothos sound wall. That's the mission, and I think this will be a big part of it. All right, and that is my plant collection. That is my plant story. That's what's going on, and hopefully I can build this shelf soon. That's going to be a lot of fun. I just have to keep growing these pothos and taking cuttings. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I'm going to keep popping out more plant content videos as I go and as I learn, as I make mistakes. And if you're into plants and you don't know where to start with a pothos. They're impossible to kill. They just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And yeah, it's a good learning experience. All right, peace out. See you guys in the next one.